or better without that. So Jamie, the question is studs, breeding the top studs over having a program, and whether or not which one is better, which is maybe there's one that's more effective. And so we were just kind of spitballing on what we thought.
Well, I think that's two different kinds of people, first of all. And when you first get into dogs, you know, and you are brand new, instead of just going flat ass crazy, you need to get one and you need to grow one. You need to see if that's what you like. And you don't even know what you like when you first get in, really. And so, you know, just take it slow. And in the long run, that'll pay off way better. You know, get you one, grow it, see what you think about it. And in a couple of years, you'll know what you like, what you dislike. You need to start looking at dogs, and you need to know what you like. That's the main thing. Know what you got, know what you like, know what you want. Okay, then you start putting the pieces together. But, you know, everybody has these visions and all that, and that's good. You can do that. But, you know, if you live in the middle of a city somewhere, you don't even have a fence around your yard, don't be thinking about having a program quite yet, because a program is a lot of stuff besides just an idea in your head, you know. It's keeping dogs, it's evaluating dogs, it's being honest with yourself, not talking yourself into, yeah, I did good when you didn't really do that good. And you don't even know until you've raised some how they're going to turn out. So for me, I'm always a program person, because the reason I do it is because I want to keep dogs, because I really like the challenge of breeding, competing, producing a badass dog. But it's, you know, I do it for me until I get it, until I get several adults that are what I want, you know.
Right.
But if you can just have a couple dogs, you know, you might want to just let the programs up to somebody else, and you know, just go from there. If you want to just always breed to the top stud, that's some short-term stuff, in my opinion. You're going to get the pups. You're going to probably sell them all. I mean, you might make some money that way if that's what you want to do. Then do that. I don't care. I mean, my dad taught me that when I was a little bitty girl. You know, if you just want to make some money, breed to the top stud. Don't keep nothing.
Right.
You know.
Hey, so
that's just how it goes.
Here's
We
the
see it
question,
right
Jamie.
happening.
So with that being said, let's say the guy that, you know, he got a dope bitch, he's gonna go breed to that top stud, right?
Yeah.
And in his mind, you know, he believes that he has a program. You know what I'm saying? Like in the bully game, we see a lot of this we see a lot of the terminology be thrown out there, and it's like
Right.
So I guess at what point does someone, when is a program defined? Like when do they find themselves there? Is it something like, oh, I'm going to start a program, or after doing something for a while, you know?
Everything in dogs, if people just slow down and do it and then talk about it, we'd be in a much better place. But, you know, the usual way to do it is talk a bunch of shit first and then try to do it.
Exactly.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, I'm a lot older than all you guys, and, you know, I've done this for a long time, and I'm not saying I know everything or my way's the best, but just like V said, the terminology's messed up. We got a lot of shit fucked up in the dog world, and we got to go back, and you got to learn this. It's just so much better when you learn it. You learn the basics, and then you build on that. The whole time you're doing that, you're growing up dogs. You can't get around that time, you know?
Hey, James, we got to clear something up real quick, because Cal kind of old, too. You feel me? So we don't really
Okay,
know.
good. There's another old one in here. Good.
But
Good deal.
Real quick, for the 25 people that's on here, I'm going to be interrupting a little bit, letting y'all know. Like, if y'all want to continue to get updates from the page so y'all not late for the live, hit 1 in the comments. And not only that, but let me get 5 shares from everybody that's on here, bro, so we can bring the game back to some real dog talk.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Age does not make you old. See, I may be age-wise, I may be older than you, Rob, but you are probably old to me, you know, older than me.
All right, so
I'm 32 up here.
Hey, I'm over
32.
Hey, I'm over here aging in dog years.
So he say, when does a person have a program?
I'm just playing.
Okay. That's a good question. You know, a lot of times we think everything's just this equation and this number. Like, How many generations does it take before your bloodline? How many years for a program? Okay, this is just my personal opinion. If you have a program that's worth its salt, then it doesn't matter if you have 79 dogs, if you have 4, whatever. If you're producing stuff that's badass and adding benefits to the breed or whatever, then that's a program. And you're staying on your goal, you're continually producing, you know, dogs that are keeping up or better. I'm not saying all of them, you might wing off and have some here and there that don't match up, but you know, real programs, they have a goal in mind, and they don't change their mind all the time, and they continue to shoot for that, and they get better at that. Every time they do it, they learn something, they get better at that.
And it's not a certain amount of dogs that you have to have.
No.
I think I seen a comment somebody said there's no certain amount.
But like, yeah, there's no certain amount. But I'll say this, like, I don't know what to do with like a handful of dogs, because I've always had a plan, but I always want a lot of options. I mean, I don't have the time to just have one litter a year.
Right.
Well, see, I
And
think
wait for that.
it's a big difference though between creating a program and creating a breed.
True, that's true.
And
that's true.
You've been creating a shorty boy, so I'm assuming like you started with a lot of damn dogs to do so.
Well, if I did it again, I'd start with a lot more that was grown. But hindsight's always 20/20.
John White, what's up, bro? He said programs are about choices.
Yeah, they are. Your program is just the story of you and your decisions. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's you and what you decided to do, what you bred, what you kept, what you sold, what you went back and redid. I mean, it's just it's just your decisions. You make all these calls. So, if you have a yard full of crap, well, that's on you. Just like if you have a yard full of stunners, that's all you too. But we don't all have the same opportunities is the thing. Someone has a lot of money. That doesn't mean they're going to have great dogs.
Right.
So, there's a lot of variables in all the equations in dogs that we mess with. And we always want to get it down to this one simple equation, but it's not like that,
Right.
But,
Hey, Wes Lynch, Jamie, what I hear you saying more than anything is like, overall, a program is you got a direction. You know what I mean? And it's not wavering. It's not moved by every top stud.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And how you get that direction is you have enough dogs that you know what you like and what you want. When you start out, you don't know. You think you might like it. I mean, I thought I'd like a lot of things, but then after I had it a while, I was like, oh, that's not quite it, And that's just some time and, where you're at when you start too. If you're a young person and you don't have a family commitments yet, you're going to like probably a different type of dog than, when you have little kids and a spouse to worry about and you both have to work all the time. All those things change it,
Right.
But,
hey, Kelvin Estes, what's going down, bro? My brother
hey,
over in KC town, man. He said, I only breed the top studs. What are programs?
What a program, man.
Right. And then,
yeah.
So that somebody, Ronnie, he's in here. He's got a good question. He says, so what if you've got a program? What about having your own program, but still breeding the top studs? Can I answer this?
Yeah.
All right. So here's my thought is, and I got a bad habit of getting off track and talking too much, but
me too.
Yeah, my thought is, man, if you got a program, you can't be like, people get the kennel blind thing mixed up. How I came up in the game was kennel blind is okay, you got a program, you're running your stuff, eventually you're going to need an outcross, right? And by the time you realize you need an outcross, it's usually too late. So then, there's going to be a plethora of different dogs for you to look at and choose the dopest one. So I'm not going to sit here and say, Ronnie, that you can't have a program and breed to a top stud. Top studs need to be bred to. You know what I'm saying? But it might be something different for everybody. But overall, if that dog is it, then a lot of people should breed to it. You can run a program so rigid to where you get focused on looking at all your stuff and convincing yourself on what you got, that you can't even acknowledge the fact that somebody else's dog is dope, that your dogs could actually use something from that dog. And that's what we knew to be kennel blind. So that's a long way of saying that absolutely you can have a program and breed the top studs. It's just that stud should never change your shit. Or excuse my language. That stud should never completely come in and like change it. It should fit into what you're already doing. That's all I gotta say.
There's a difference though between top stud and there's a difference between using a top stud and
using the right stud.
Right. So
yeah,
not all top studs, most of them are popular studs. That's what I wanted to say. Top stud and a popular stud are two different things. A top stud is producing dogs on a consistent basis with different females out of different programs, to me. A popular stud is a dog that everybody's just going to because maybe the next breeder is going to that dog, you know? So some people got to really take a look at the productions of the dogs and make sure it's, like you said, it's got to fit into their program somewhere. They got to be able to pick out if they need a head or they need more bone or whatever. That program's got to be able to produce that to fit into your program, or you're not going to really get anything accomplished.
And you got to have the bitch too. I mean, it's not just a stud going to make all this magic happen, you know?
Facts.
It don't matter if it's popular or not. You still got to have a bitch in there. And if you really want to do this, you know, you need to learn those parts of a dog. You need to learn to know what to look for. Do you have to have a pedigree to breed dogs? No, you don't. Can you breed dogs from pedigree? Yeah, you can. You can do both. But you've got to know what you want first. And then, you know, it's not as hard as we make it sometimes. You want bone? Then breed the bone. Breed the bone. You get bone.
I think what makes it hard is people just look at the dog and not what the dog is producing. You feel me? So they're breeding to a lot of dogs that look good but not producing well, so they're not ending up with the things that they're trying to get.
It's a popular stud.
True.
It's popular.
And why do you think one dog produces and this one doesn't? And, you know, then you need to look in the background of that dog and see, you know.
Hey,
if you got the only bully dog out of a clean litter, guess what? You're not going to get probably many of his bully dogs. You know, that's just how it works. So, you know, that's when you got to know that too.
If you really want to build a program, you can't chase money either. I know that you want to make money when you come into it, but you really can't chase money when you're trying to build a program.
No, that's where you got to decide what, you know, what it is you're wanting to do. But I would think most people, because I hear everybody, I have this vision. I think what they really want to do is they want the dog they want. They want to put their stamp on it. You know, there's plenty of room to do that, but it takes a little bit of time. You know, you're not going to just up and do that. This is your second dog.
For the people in the comments, do y'all just look at the stud or do y'all follow the production? What do y'all put that in the comments? What's up with you, Ron?
Hey, so Kelvin Estes, he had a really good comment in the comments, bro. So Kelvin Estes, he's been having the top program in exotics.
Yeah, long time.
Here out of the Midwest, the heart of the Midwest in Kansas City. He just dropped a comment that answers, or that brings another perspective of what you're asking, Rob. He said what most don't understand is it's more about your females. Females build your program versus breeding to a top stud. And then David Walker follows it up with saying starts with the bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Both. The bitch is so important.
True. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, and you can fix things. Yeah, I've fixed a lot of things. You can fix things, but you know, starting off with one that don't need all the fixing, going to a stud that, you know, we say compliments her. What's that even mean? Compliments her.
Yeah.
You know, what's that even mean?
And that's why I tell people, and I make a big deal to always say this. In the exotic community, we spend so much time fixing things that we can never perfect anything.
Hey,
well, you just don't have time to fix everything. I mean, you just don't. I mean, let's just face it. There's some things that, you know, is worth messing with, and there's some that you just be better off just to start over, you know.
For sure.
Really. I've done it both ways, and I mean, we just don't have that kind of time, really.
But
You know,
I tell people, if you ain't started over yet, you ain't been here long enough.
But
right?
another thing, when you to me or for me, a lot of people get connected to the dog. So if you really want to run a program, you can't get connected or have no emotional attachment to every single dog, or you're going to end up with 100 dogs and not really do anything with, or not even build a program. So you really got to be able to rotate your dogs out. And you, so they
And that
most
sounds really harsh. That sounds
right.
terrible. It sounds
Yeah.
harsh. You know, I understand that, but
It's a,
you know, there's a way to do that that works, that makes it work for everybody. You know,
yeah.
and yeah, and you want to keep dogs, but like you just said, you know, uh, if they're not the right puzzle piece, you know, then
And this
yeah, you have to find the right puzzle piece, and that one needs to go do something else.
Like
right, and I feel
for
like
me and
it.
my, go
Or go
ahead, go
ahead,
ahead.
bro.
For like me and my family, I found out a long time ago that what works for me and them is whatever dog is in the house is safe. Whatever dog is outside the house can go at any time that I choose. But whatever dogs are in the house, they're gonna stay.
He said,
You
if
know,
they in
so
here, they ain't going out.
right. You can get they can get connected to them, no problem. But anything outside, there's no need to get connected to them. No emotional attachment.
Right. Hey, Zenzotics, man. Hey, we feel the same way, bro. Kay, what's going down? That's the big homie there. Hey, what I'll say is I think when you're running a program, it kind of mitigates some of that stuff for you. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you got your work cut out for you, man. If you're, and I shouldn't say, like, I think to a degree, we're all emotionally engaged with what we're doing. But there's a such thing as unhealthy engagement, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to dogs.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
it's almost impossible to run an effective or an efficient program if you want to keep every puppy. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, you might be the person that loves them so much, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Right.
Um, and the reason why I say that is because it's like when you have a program, it's like when you have a direction, you usually are expecting something from going down that path, right? So that means you got a projected outcome. And so if you got a projected outcome, but you're getting caught up on everything that's in front of you because it's different or because it's fluffy, it's cute or something like that, man, you ain't gonna move forward. So I feel like in the program, you're the visionary, just like an owner of a business, right? Your job isn't best spent selling puppies. Your job is to be the visionary, right? So you get somebody or
Yeah,
selling
see,
cars.
I don't believe that these people these days would have made it back when culling was a thing. You feel me? Like,
But and that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But I guess what I'm getting at is when you got a program, man, you got a plan for that bitch in front of you. You got a plan for them puppies before they even come. You know what I mean? You're working towards capturing those virtues about that dog or dogs that you love. You know what I'm saying? That you want to have all the time, or you want to have that separate you from everything else. Like that's what that is what you're planning on. That's what you're working towards. That's what you're scoping out. So it's kind of like the same thing as, like, you know, the top stud wave or whatever. I feel like you get caught up in puppies, man, it's gonna be a hard time moving forward.
Exactly. You get too many of them. So I mean, like with me, you know, I'm 2 or 3, usually 3 or 4 breedings ahead before I, planned out before even anything even drops the ground, you know. So
oh yeah,
um,
bro, we over here working so tough. Like I said, me and Amigos teamed up because we kind of running the same blood. And bro, shit, we got shit planned out for shit that ain't even here yet. You feel me? Generations of
Yeah,
shit that's not here yet.
yeah,
facts. And
You
I
feel
feel
me?
like that's one of the main characteristics of a program. Think about, like, if you go to a play or something, right? Or you go to a theater. First thing they hand you when you walk in is what? The program. The program
yep,
tells you what to expect and when to expect it. You know
yep,
what I mean? And so when you're running a program, you know when you need an out cross. That's why if you get caught off guard, like, oh man, I need an out, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You want to prepare for that. You want to have your out cross ready. You know what I mean?
And like one thing that like to do is have at least 5 dogs. So during this process that we have about 4 or 5 breedings already planned out, we have 5 studs picked out too. So we watch them and we watch how the production is doing. And as they, if we like them, we keep it up there. If we don't like the productions, we check it off. And that's going to help us eliminate what we, the ones we don't, and we end up being able to put that to the list of what we breed later on. So.
Facts.
And it just works. It just works for us. So that's an easy way. Yeah.
And I feel like we all benefit from each other, or we all are affected by each other. You know what I mean? Some of us, we might not benefit from some other stuff that's happening in the game. But it's a process. You know what I mean? All this stuff is a process. Like going back to what Jamie said earlier, it's like, man, you got to do it, and then you'll pick up on it. Then the light bulbs will go off. But I'm gonna bounce back to OG Ron Ramos. What's going down, bro? Zenzotic.
Mr. Ramos, what's going on?
Absolutely. Kelvin S. just says programs take patience, planning, and trial. My outcross is already in my yard already, Ron. He said, I love line breeding. Then I would go out. Scooter Lou said, yo, what's good? Keith Ball said, most breeders don't tell the truth about the dog's health.
That's true.
Yeah. But
the dog's health?
Hey,
yeah.
Scooter Lou, we're talking about breeding to top studs and chasing that top stud game, or a program. Which one is more effective?
And everybody knew that's coming in. Like I said, let me get 5 shares from y'all. And if y'all want to get updates when the live starts, so y'all ain't late, y'all just hit 1 in the comments.
Hey, before I got into bullies and stuff, I was into competition with military and police dogs. So I had Malleys and German Shepherds. So as far as health, I came into the bullies and doing the same thing. So I always did my health, hips, elbows, spine, got those certified. Always did the specific diseases for those.
That's good, man.
But when I came into the bullies, the 2 I started out with.
Hey, Zen, I'm gonna let you tap into the conversation, and then I gotta get Jamie back on.
Oh, you good, man?
Yeah.
For sure, man. I want to soak up the knowledge anyway.
I got
So,
their
hey, let's Zen go ahead and tap in real quick with the topic.
What's up?
Really,
go ahead, bro.
Really, I got in late. I just got in, and it sounds like y'all basically talking about a program. What y'all feel about a program versus chasing top studs? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, basically.
That was Rob's question. Yeah.
I prefer the program.
Why is that? Why is that? Go into a little detail real quick.
I'm gonna be real with you. Everybody got their own angles, but for me, I'm an honest man, man. I got breeder's pride, maybe to a fault to a certain extent. Like, I got real breeder's pride. This is what I love to do. I have a passion for this. So, like, my program and my lineage over time, I want to build my own look, my own vision, you know. And every once in a while, I'll see a top stud that I feel like I want to implement in my program, but just know that I'm not chasing the hype. If I use that dog, it's because I saw things in that dog that I want to implement in my program. No other reason. I'll go use a dog that's a nobody, that's never been used by anybody, if I feel like I see what I see for my program. But overall, as far as the program, I feel like if you're a real breeder, because I know they say everybody's a breeder if you breed dogs, whatever.
What's up, Joe?
Agree to disagree, but I just feel
Mike,
like at the end of the day, man,
let everybody know where they can find you at, and I'm gonna open it up at the end for people to come back to actually come on and chime in.
For sure, man. They can find me at Zen Exotics. On IG is Zen Exotics 901 out of Memphis. I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Hey, blessings, bro.
Blessings.
Hey, I seen you on live the other day. You know, I like what you're doing, man. I like your dogs and stuff.
I appreciate
Keep it.
you, man. Go on, let Johnny
Yeah.
give me some of this game.
Already,
Yeah.
already.
Uh,
Yeah. Hey, Mike Koger said a program is important. Totally agree, bro.
Exactly.
Totally agree.
You're right.
Osceola Blue Horse, man, that's my guy just north of me up on the let me see what he said. He says, I agree. I don't chase the hype. If the dog got some features I like, I'm gonna use them. Heard
Uh-huh.
that. Heard that.
Like when I first came in, I came from that working dog side, so you know I always did the health and everything for them. Color was never a factor, right? Health was the most important in drive. Well, when I came in and got my first couple bullies, some people that won't mention, they was like, "Hey, man, you just like wasting money," because I went out and
Oh,
I
come
got
on,
these, I
bruh.
got the, I didn't say no names. I didn't say no names. You just expose yourself, man. But the thing is, I wanted to start off, make sure I had healthy bullies to start off with in the beginning. Healthy
But
dogs.
let's be
No,
honest, bro. We breeding exotics. Do we really need to check for hips? I mean,
why not?
that's all I'm saying.
Why not? I want the dog. I want my dogs to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do
Now,
you check them? I mean,
yeah. Now, you know,
you do.
I got the health reports done, eyes and everything. You know, eyes are important with the dogs. I mean, with these bullies, just
I mean,
different
but come
things.
on, we can
But
look at these
color,
brothers.
I
Excuse
went and
my
got
language,
the
but
color done too. So I'm gonna put the science to the test with the color and see how it goes.
I
Hey, check
think
it
this.
out.
I mean, the health testing, I think, can go, I think it can turn into just marketing, just like everything else can. But
Yeah,
I mean, if you have dogs and you're not seeing problems and they're functioning and they're living a decent life, they're active, you know what a healthy dog looks like.
But
I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong by any means. I'm just saying, like, I've had a lot of dogs for a long time, the they live to be 12 years old and don't see the vet. I think
yeah,
that's pretty healthy. But I think a lot of these things that that are tested for and talked about and shit, like, I mean, where's it go after that? Does that make them keep more dogs, or does it? What's it guarantee? What's it do? Is it something just to sell dogs? I
nah.
mean,
I mean, and in
Like
exotics,
DM.
I don't want to have anything unhealthy out there, but
Now,
hey,
I don't think it needs to go that extreme.
now
but
when
see
it
that
comes to like
kind of ties back
DM,
to the
like
value
the
of a
gen,
program,
yeah,
right? That ties back to the value of of a program. Like, I feel like it kind of helps answer some of that stuff, and I feel like we start leaning
yeah,
more towards on that shit because nobody's really been around long enough to see what their stuff actually does, right? So,
yeah,
Right.
like my OGs in here, I keep saying it, I keep shouting them out, but Kay or Keith, he dropped a fire comment in here, man. He's got a boy over there for me that's been alive for 17 years right now. He just lost the other one that has
Yeah.
been alive for 17. But this is what he said. He said, program is going to tell you everything about your breed, health, the back history, and more. And I
yeah,
can't agree with that more. I feel like if you've got a program, you're known for certain things, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? That's
true,
just the reality of it. And like, then we start getting into like, okay, this program over here, this is what they're running, this is what they got going, and this one over here. And so we can go around and shop like that, right? But overall, I think that's one of the overlooked values of a program is just that people know what to expect. They know what they're going to get. And that's why they come to you, right?
yeah.
But,
And
Like with the disease, the generative myopathy, they call it DM. Just imagine taking well in the working dogs, you got an 80-pound dog, because eventually it's gonna go paralyzed. Nerves are gonna be shot. You gonna have to take that dog out to either use the bathroom, or the dog's eventually gonna die on you. So that right there is a disease that is hereditary. That's one that needs to be passed on, and bullies are susceptible to it. So no matter what breed that we have, everything is coming from American bullies from the beginning. So dog these dogs will be could have get it. Have you
Well,
seen some of these?
I think
Have you seen some of these dogs out here with loose hips? These ligaments that they have when they walk in, seems like the whole hip pops out when they walk. Well, that's a hereditary thing too. So
it is, but those things are visible. Like I think going back to both of your guys' points, it's like the true health test, like Jamie was saying, is like the test of time. You know, like if you can see the hips are bad, you're gonna stay away from it. Because hips can be manipulated in a test. The hips can be manipulated in the x-ray. You know what I mean? Depending on your bitch or where she's at in her development, right? That's why like OFA, they won't let you do it prior to, what is it, 2 years?
2 years,
24,
Unless,
but you know,
months.
unless you got some shit from overseas and it's like 15 months. But here's what my point is there's all kinds of health tests too, and I'm not opposed to them. But as long as they're effective and they're rational, right? Like, we're not there yet with the health testing, so it's really arbitrary to do it because, like, what was it in English Bulldogs? They were testing for something, and come to find, and so people were passing up on top studs and pairings that should have happened for the breed because the dog's coming back positive for this thing in its health panel, but there had never been a single case of this thing ever manifesting. So it's like,
I mean, health testing. If there's a problem and you need to figure that out, and I agree with all that. But even with the health testing we have, there's other things that can't even be tested for yet that are going to be issues. I mean, I just think like anything in dogs, it needs to be balanced, and that's what I mean, anybody that knows me knows that I love a functional dog, and if you've been doing this long enough, you're responsible for the stuff you put out, and people expect that, and that is what you want to put out. I'm not jumping down your throat because you health test, but I think a lot of these tests that we do that are swab in the mouth, are we sure we're really wanting to know that, or is it just for something else?
I think a lot of people are doing stuff with these geneticists that don't even know if it's really true. You feel me? Like they could send us back, they be sending back anything to me sometimes, and motherfuckers just like, yeah, that's a fact, that's what it is. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against health testing, but I mean, like
Well,
we said, the test of time. Like certain things I've never dealt with in my program, so I'm like,
I know health tests work, right? Because
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like,
in other breeds, I know it works.
sure,
And
sure, they do.
And there's dogs out here that don't exhibit any signs of any type of hip dysplasia, and then they put them under the X-ray, and dogs don't even have a socket. So that's a fact as well. So not all dogs, they may have a higher pain tolerance. So that everybody to each his own. I just prefer that to happen because that's the way I've always done, and I prefer to start out with dogs like that. But you got a lot of these dogs dying. You got a lot for unknown reasons.
Yeah,
a year old, 6 months, 15 months, dying for no reason.
I guess the reason for me why I see health testing as arbitrary is because it's like when we're talking about breeding dogs and stuff like that, and health testing, it's like, how much does that really have to do with the overall goal? And the overall goal is what? To preserve what you like. That's why we're breeding it, to keep it going. And so it's like, I don't think health testing has ever in any way helped preserve anything in regards to any breed. It might have kept you from getting deaf puppies or blind puppies or something like that, or stuff that's blatantly, messed up. But overall, from where I'm sitting, it's like, man, I don't know. What I see health testing doing is, like I said, in English Bulldogs, there's dogs that should have been bred to for the breed. The dog has virtues that all those breeds need, but no one's touching it because it's showing positive for this health test. So it's like, if that breed needed that dog to keep going and no one's breeding to it, then it's like, okay, then what are they breeding to? Something not as great as that one that everybody should, right?
Well, I mean, you still have to preserve other things too, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, what good is it if it's, going to live to be 23 years old, it doesn't look like what we want, or, do like what we want. So that's why it has to be a balance
Right.
of different things. Everything in dogs has to be balanced.
True.
Or it's off. But taking this one step further, this is where I think a program is important. I get the most information about what the dog's going to turn out to, what it is, by watching its siblings and seeing, what did the majority of this litter get? Because if I'm just getting one out of the litter, I got to do better than that.
Fact.
And so, when you have a program, you can watch siblings and, you want to keep track of that and stuff, you're going to get most of your information that's really going to help you carry on right there with what you're producing in the litter. I would take that over a pedigree or anything, just,
Right.
Personally, because that's what it is,
Well,
and then the
I've
goal
been hearing a
is
lot of
to
people
get,
say their goal is just to get that one dog. You feel me? So it's like,
well,
that's why
that's
I
a
kind of
crazy
feel
little
like,
goal, I think.
huh?
I mean, why would you just want one when you could get 4 or 5?
I
To
think,
me,
I,
I
that's
mean,
I,
when you
I
finally
think the
get it
biggest,
like you like it, that's the next step, is to produce more of that.
I think that's
that,
just
to
an
me, a lot of people
excuse.
are doing that. They just chasing money
I
and
think that I
Yeah.
think that's
over.
just an
Yeah.
excuse to be a shitty breeder. You feel me?
I think you're right.
Because
I
I
think
mean,
you're right.
what does that tell people when you say I just want one dog? Then shit, what are you selling me? You feel me?
Fact.
Well,
Hey,
yeah, but I mean, when you're just starting out and you think you need a first pick pup, that's another thing I feel strongly about. Like, you probably don't need that first pick anything. Save your money, see if you're going to like it a little bit. I don't know. I'm way too old school. I'm generations, from a long time ago.
Well,
But
there's that
I
part.
still like it better than now.
Yeah, there's that part, and it's like the reality of it is our picks probably wouldn't be the same anyway. Maybe. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. It's interesting. Like, I don't know. Health is an interesting topic to think about, man, because it's like most of the health stuff that I know of, it's visual shit, or you'll pick up on it one way or another.
Sometimes you have to use carriers to continue a breed. That's a pretty deep thing, but I mean, you can even research that
you can.
and find out about it, because you can't, like say, it's just balance. But what were we first supposed to be talking about tonight? Type, right?
Studs and
This
we got,
this
programs.
we got way
this.
off, we got way off topic. So we was talking about
I know I'm bad about that.
having that one dog versus a program. You feel me? I
Mhm.
mean, and hold on, what else was the damn title? Shit, I forgot. Um, it was this,
It was it was
is having a
tight, but
breeding program important, and what is the benefits of having a program versus breeding to a popular stud?
Mhm. Well, a program ought to have one of the popular studs, really.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you would
like,
think
that shouldn't just
so.
be a chance accident that, the Got the One dog has the popular stud, if we're really breeding dogs for certain things besides the hype or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
you know? And then when they get that top stud, then as soon as they get it and it's the one, then they should be working on a son, because, you need to perpetuate that and it needs to continue. You can't just stop when you get the top one. You got to keep going.
Right.
Yeah, but see, I don't think nobody's looking for consistency because, like I said, we were on the IG live, and and people were like, I don't want a whole litter of crowns. Like, why wouldn't you take a whole litter of dogs that look like crown if you're willing to breed to the dog one time? You feel me? That
Well, I think I mean, then you got to dig a little deeper. And why is it that you don't want that? Well, it's a big difference between just doing this and making money, and doing this because you like a certain dog, and you can make the money too, and you want to. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if it's just disposable and stuff, we're two different, complete opposites of why we breed dogs.
yeah, but
You know?
Yeah.
for me, consistency sounds like money. You feel me? Because how often do we breed? I would rather somebody see my stud and say, "Man, I really like that stud," and he produces you a whole litter of dogs that look like him.
Right.
True.
But I mean, you know, they ain't magic either. You got to bring in a bitch for that to happen.
Period.
You know, and that's another part of it. Like, they can't fix everything. They can't, you know, and even you could get somebody a great dog and they will kill that dog's vibe just the way they do things, you know? So the dog world's so different now than it was back then. Like, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier and a hell of a lot more consistent when it's based on dogs and everybody is looking at dogs they like and trying to breed dogs they like. This for the money stuff just stretches everything so many different ways.
Facts.
You know, it's hard to even converse about it because it's just, you know, coming from completely different worlds and why we do this stuff and, you know, how we were brought up into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like
You know,
it's like it's always eluding. Like the conversation, it's like even just talking about a particular look, you know, or like a benefit of a program like Rob was saying, you know, to me, I start getting into things like going back to what Jamie said early on and what we've all kind of said is like consistency, man, the test of time. People know what to expect. You're known for a particular thing. And it's like that's where it leads me to.
Yeah, because see, I know
like
my goal, you know, my goal is to have a stud that the only people that can use that stud is if they have something directly from my yard or off of something out of my yard. You feel me? To make sure that that stud has a better
so
chance.
you're protecting him.
Yeah, to make sure he has a better chance of producing some consistency.
That goes back to basically almost like pre-approved dogs, and that's being when stud owners aren't pre-approving the females to see, you know, put their studs in a better position to in breeding to see what they really can produce than just studding them out and making that money, you know. So there's a difference. Like what you were saying, that's almost something like pre-approving dogs, which is good, you know, for certain.
For
Sam,
sure.
what up?
I think it's always good to have that stud that's just open to the public. You feel me? Because you know this is a hard topic to say approve. You know, females. You know, and I do understand it. But if people believe in your program, then they obviously see something that they're trying to get to. You know, so it's like I think there always should be a stud
What if
that's
you
open to them.
have a popular stud? What if you have a popular stud? They trying to get to your dog because they
Well,
want
no, that's what I said.
they
But you
want
should
they
always
want
have
that popular
something.
dog. So you might have the popular dog and he breeds 1,000 times, right? What's the percentage that he's going to have a top stud coming out at top pups?
Yeah, but
Well, if we breed that much, you better have a couple coming out.
yeah, but you know these days.
I mean, that's what I don't understand about dogs today. You know, like how's that even work?
Exactly.
All right. Donald Murphy,
What's up, Murph?
What up with you, Donald?
Yeah.
Oh, and for everybody, y'all, like I said, y'all make sure y'all share the live out. Let me get 5 shares from everybody. And if y'all want to get an update when we go live, y'all make sure y'all hit one in the comments because we will be live every Tuesday at 8-ish.
But going back to what you were saying, Jamie, back then there was, you know, breeders that they did a lot more pre-approved females because they cared more about their programs over.
Oh yeah, man, they were protecting those studs and and it was a lot different. And I don't know, it's we do things really differently today than we did then, you know. But like I say, that's a multifaceted thing. But I want to say this while we're on the live tonight. Don't always go by the way my face looks, because I know I look mad and grouchy a lot of times when I'm disagreeing with you, but
no,
I don't know everything. But I am going to give you my opinion. I'm all very opinionated, but you know, you can feel free to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about too, but I'll still argue. So I just want to get that out there. But what I'm telling you comes from what I've done for all these damn years.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this. A lot of things sound good to you until, you know, you're knee deep in doing it yourself. And then you're like, oh, okay. Then your whole way of thinking changes after that sometimes. And it's real hard to understand it before you do that, you know?
Facts.
I mean, it sounds good to have a toy for your dogs to play with, doesn't it? So they can be enriched and not bored.
No.
Try that with bulldogs and see what happens, you know?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, but it sounds good till you do it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, I think a lot of the stuff we talk about and do, I mean, it's hard to understand what a program is when you've just had a couple dogs at your home and that's your whole thing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's very difficult to understand that until you've done that, you know. But I can't imagine just trying to have a program with a couple dogs. I mean, I need a lot of options. I need to keep dogs. I need to see them grow, and then I know solidly what that's gonna bring me in the future. And you can always reference back. Okay, this did this. You know, the sister did this. This dog he was really a great looking dog, but all his brothers and sisters fell short. But you know, there is such a thing as if you continue on your goals and you're honest in your evals and you strive to do better, there's going to come a day when you're not going to have, you know, 4 or 5 look like shit and one's good. No, it's going to be the other way around. Like
Exactly.
4 or 5 look really good and one looks good too. If you didn't see the rest of them, it look real good. That can happen too, you know.
Right. And I think it'd be even harder, Jamie, to try to do a program or come into the game as a new person, and thinking about a program or hearing the word and not having anything to relate it to. There's the scarcity of programs, in my opinion.
It's harder to have a program today, I think, than at any other time. You know, it's just, I don't even know if the world's conducive to programs anymore.
Right.
Really.
And so, like, you hear, I could see these guys coming in and they're hearing the terminology and these key words in the bully game, in the bully world. And it's like, where do they look at for that? And it's like, oh, so-and-so's got a program. And then you look and it's like, man, their studs are juking. You know, they're shipping out semen 3 times a week. But in terms of being a program, though, you can have a top stud today and never be concerned with ever having a program. You don't even want one. And that's kind of the time and day that we're in. So,
I mean, do you guys think that these people even know how to create one, like some of the new breeders?
I don't think.
Well, you know, don't try to have a program if you don't really know, because there's no sense of, you know, keeping all these dogs and feeding all these dogs and they're not gonna, you know, be what you want. I mean, that's silly to do that.
Yeah, there's no.
So I think when you come in, it seems like today when you come in, you know, you got to just stand alone and you can't, you know, crawl up in anybody's armpit and ride along till you get it figured out. But you got to do that stuff. That's not bad. You got to learn this stuff. You know, you're not gonna come in without a dog knowledge and just be okay for very long. You know, you have to. It takes a community, really. You know, you have to have somebody that you can, you know, lean on and listen and see, and they can explain it to you in some way you can understand. I feel that way anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I don't think people really want to do that anymore because they think it's dick riding and all this other stuff or whatever. But, you know, when you're new, you kind of have to learn a little bit before you know, just take it easy. Don't jump out and buy 12 dogs and oh my God, and then, you know, it really wasn't for you.
Yes, and then that whole D-riding term, you know, I think that's why it's going to be hard, especially in the exotic community, for us to have another top stud, you know, because anytime you show support to somebody, they're like, oh, you're a D-rider. And I don't think they understand, and I don't think they understand, like, bro, you're messing up you ever having a stud that the community will support by doing that.
What do you mean top stud or not having another top stud?
Well,
like popular,
like hella popular that the whole community embraces.
Has 5,
like, you know, like
1,000 kids out there.
Like another babe or what?
That's right, like another babe or another crown.
I mean,
know,
who
I think those,
the hell don't want a top stud, really?
yeah,
Does anybody on this deal right here not want a top stud? I mean, we all want top dogs, right?
sure.
Yeah.
We do.
And I think I got 2 of them behind me. I promise you.
I mean, whether or not we want to share them, I don't know, but we all want that.
Yeah.
Right.
Why is it so hard for us to get there?
Because the way the community is going now, you can't support anybody without being a D rider. You feel me?
Mm.
You can't. You know,
Yeah, I know that's right. Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
support the Disney program 100%. You feel me? And people, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you just D-ride. No, look at what's going on. You know, like I try to tell people, you name me a dog that we can start with. Dizzy. Dizzy created Kobe. Kobe created Nacho. Nacho created Romeo. Romeo created Superman. Superman got two more studs coming up. Like I'm going down a line of one dog that's producing dog after dog after dog after dog with a look. This is why I support that. Because what is the point of supporting a dog that can only produce a stud that can't produce a stud?
Yeah. That's true.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's pointless to me. Now you
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
basically telling me I got a good looking dog that ain't worth shit.
Yeah.
But you know,
Pro, what up?
look at how we look at how the shows and stuff promote. Like you don't even have to work to get anything. Like titles don't mean shit no more. You know, it's just whatever
True.
that is. That's what I say. It's a multifaceted thing that we just, you know, we don't really have any consequences. We don't have any rules. We don't have, who cares what a standard is, blah, 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 blah. We can go on forever,
Well,
you know, but
since you
we
said
got to get some rules and consequences, I feel like, in place that are abided by a little bit if, you know, we want this different than
Well,
what it is
think about it.
right now.
We in the exotic community, there's people that's breeding exotic right now that still say there is no standard for exotics. Like, what are you talking about? It is, and there been one for years. People just don't care.
true.
Well, why don't they care? Why don't they care? Because they think a standard tells them you got to do this. I mean, you can do whatever
No,
you want
because they
to.
have this notion that the exotic is supposed to look different. It's not supposed to have any consistency. You feel me? So, and then not only that, but with the shows, damn near 90% of the shows that are thrown in the exotic community are fun shows. You feel
Who
me? So
said?
now they don't need a registry for anything,
Well,
literally anything.
even if you do go to a registry, they're gonna pick anything and
That's
everything.
right. I know. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I
This the
know.
thing.
I mean, the train's off the track. That's no kidding. It is. Um, but you know, it's gonna. But somebody's gonna have to do something different and stick by it, and that's a problem too.
Hey, Mike, I know
We talk about it
skids.
all night, but until somebody moves their butt and sticks by it, it won't make a difference.
Hey,
See, I
Sticking by some stuff's hard to do.
back.
yeah. Like if since Donald Murphy on here and he throws a show every year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think a point system for the fun shows, I think a point system should come into play because a lot of people is all and it may curb some of the arguing, some of the social media stuff they do. My dog should have won this, and it takes the judge's opinion out of it if they check the points off, and all they gotta do is this dog has more points than that dog, and they can eventually see what it was
But
that they had.
but you know what I have a problem with that?
Uh-huh.
Who's gonna be the point checker offer? You know,
Yeah,
because
You can have
the
two
judges have to be responsible, and that's the whole point of it. They have to be the ones that say, you know, okay, I'm the judge, and I'm the one that's gonna say this dog's nice, this dog's nicer. Be able to explain it. We have to have somebody that can do that and is respected for that. We don't need 100 of them, but we need some that, you know, they're supposed to be the gatekeepers of the breed. Everybody can breed dogs. Everybody can drag it to the show,
right.
but the judge has to be the one calling out quality.
see, Mike
Well,
says, dude, Mike
maybe
basically said, dudes these days, this is a get rich scheme. Now, let me just hit on that real quick.
Hmm.
They are idiots if they think that that's what this is. You can breed a whole nother breed and make way more money than over here with these damn exotics. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Hey, Jamie,
What's Mike saying in here? Bet
Mike.
only one person on the panel knows skids.
Hey, I told.
He's
Hey,
Merc 90. I love you,
hey, I
Mike.
had to chime in. I
Dang
was like,
right.
I know skids. I know skids. But he said he marked 99% of all the top dogs. I agree, man. Skid was a badass. He was the first bull with the grill.
He was the first one with a grill. You know, I just lost him a couple weeks ago, and it's in my heart, man. That was my guy. But, you know, another thing that's happening is we're not all getting out to see this shit.
Right.
And you can see the effect it has. You know, you got to see good dogs, great dogs, ugly dogs, pretty dogs. You got to see it all and walk around with them and sit there and watch them. And you got to see them unmanipulated.
Right.
You know, every dog in a stack, that isn't exactly what you're getting. That's what we're holding it up as, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But when you see it walking around in the yard by itself, that's what you're really breeding to.
That was a good way to put that, Jamie. I like that. It's what you're holding it up as.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's why you rarely see professional videos, or videos of these dogs just running around in their natural habitat. You feel me? Because now you actually get to see what that dog chest really look like. You feel me? How much spread he really got. You know.
But see, to some people, that's just boring stuff. Like, they don't want to look at that. They want to see all the hype. I love all that stuff. I love all the Hollywood shit too. But you know, if I'm going to breed to it, then I got to see it. I got to see it naked in the backyard with no leash or nothing.
Yeah.
Just doing its thing. You know, I think we just have lost sight of some of the real stuff that, you know, this really is what we're doing. We're getting caught up in all the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if you're making $1 million,
a lot of these exotic dogs can't walk right, and they don't want people to see that. You feel me? And that's what American bullies do. When some of these American bullies have bad hips or bad angulation in the rear, they don't want people to see it. So that's why you never see nothing organic from that dog.
Hey, I'm going to tell you guys something tonight, just in case you didn't know, probably you know, but these are like the worst hip dogs ever. Okay? Bully breeds, they're terrible. Like,
and that's why I
they're
said,
bad.
why are we testing for hips? I mean, like, look at it. I mean, there's your answer.
Hey,
well, and I mean, we're not going to get rid of it. Or else Malinois German Shepherd people, they've been rid of it already by now. They've been testing forever. You know?
And hey, what's crazy is you can have a dog with the best top line ever in the bully game, and the dog still have bad hips. So that goes back to what Jamie said, is like, it's only what they're holding it up as. You know what I mean?
And that angulation. Like, I'm still working on the angulation in my rears, and I got straight top lines. You feel me? Like,
hey, but here's the crazy
I know. What if you get the angulation fixed, then you find out you ain't got hip sockets? Dang, that'd be terrible. You know, but chances are, you know, most of these dogs aren't great hipped. And then the flip side of that, and here we're back on this, we're supposed to be talking about Titan. Here we go. The flip side of that is, I don't really want a dog with great hips that's going to live to be 27 if it doesn't look like what I want it to look like. I don't want that.
Period.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted a clean, healthy dog that's going to live forever, I probably would get in a different breed. You know, because it's going to look different. I mean, you know, that's just form following function right there. A little bit of that is. But I have produced a dog with no hip sockets.
And you want to know something?
Did not even know it until this was American Bulldog.
Yeah, Daryl Thrower has been saying. I said Daryl Thrower has been saying that for years. Form follows function, and for some reason, people are against that statement.
Yeah.
Jamie got a better way of saying that.
What's that, V?
Not form follows function, but
fucked up the right kind of way.
There you go. Right.
Oh my God. Sometimes I'm really wrong. I'm just so wrong. You know.
But to my point, what you said, you didn't know that dog had bad hips.
No.
No hip sockets because it might have had a higher pain tolerance. And
yeah, exactly. But here's, at the end of the day, you know, let me ask you this. This is what an old dog breeder did to me 20 years ago, you know? Yeah. He's like, okay, here's 2 American Bulldogs, and, you know, this one's working the flirt pole, doing everything, you know, flipping around. She's older. The other one, you know, she's not, I mean, she's good, but she's not as good as that one. He's like, okay, which one has the better hips? I'm like, well, shit, I don't know. I can't see you through the dogs. You got to have an x-ray. Well, it was the older dog, you know, that's doing all this stuff more intensely. She had the worst hips.
Yeah.
And just the point of it was, don't lose sight of everything for one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what it is in dogs, you just can't. And are those things important? Yeah, they're all important. But I mean, you know, that's also your personal you know, how you feel personal. We're not all going to feel the same about straight stifles or, you know, cheeks or whatever it is. You know,
Mike
I,
said
I don't know what a
speaking
deal
would not
breaker
live
is to
long.
you.
Hey, Mike,
speaking
You
of
know,
stifles, right?
what's wrong to you when you say Mike said F1 to F1 would not live long? And
Hey,
I'm
real
asking
quick,
what's wrong.
the
I just want
last
to know what's wrong because in the Brahma community, bro, there's a lot of dogs over there that's living pretty fucking long.
what was the question or whatever,
Mike
no,
or the
said
comment?
F1 to F1 will not live long.
Oh, I don't know what was in exotics or what.
Yeah, he's in exotics.
Okay, I don't know. I've done a lot of F1s but not exotics. So
Yeah, I have too. So that's why I'm like, you know, English Bulldogs.
okay, Mike. English Bulldog is the worst breed in the world.
oh
Come on.
man. But none of
Come
this stuff would exist without it. He's saying that on purpose.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm just giving you shit. You know, you can say that, Mike. That's fine.
You know,
That's cool. I'm
everybody's
getting off
allowed
this
to have
damn
their own
live now.
opinion.
No.
Yeah, everybody's allowed to
Right.
have their own opinion.
Oh, you had a bad experience, huh?
You know, but like I said,
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot about the old English Bulldogs.
You know, especially these newer EBs. I don't know what they mixed them with to get them that little, but man, when them, I'm not gonna go there. But look,
Don't
it's
even get me started on English Bulldogs tonight, or it'll be a bad deal. I'm gonna go get some piece of tape, just tape my mouth shut now, or cut me off or something.
you know,
Is it you brought up stifles, stiff stifles? Is it even possible to have angulated legs instead
Oh
of
my
stiff
God,
stifles?
Vino, tell him.
Angulated legs. Is it possible to have? What do you mean? Is it possible to have angulated legs on what?
On micros, exotics, or whatever you might call it. I prefer to call
Yeah.
micros with exotic features, you know. So
Come on, Mikey. Mikey, come out of retirement and hurt some feelings. We need you on the team.
No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, you
no.
guys.
no, bro. It's definitely possible, man. It literally just comes down to what you're using.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people when they have an idea or they decide that they're gonna do something, they think that it's the first time that it's ever been thought of, and it might be, but they want to beat everybody to the punch, man. So generally what I've seen in the dog game is like people will go, they'll hear something like, oh, it was an English Bulldog to this. And then they'll go to Craigslist back in the day and snatch up the first English Bulldog that they could find. It's never English Bulldog.
No. Hey, hold on, hey, Vito. I think it was Hoobly before Craigslist.
Hoobly, that's what it
Hoobly,
was.
hey, Hoobly
Hoobly.
too. Yeah, hey, Hoobly's still around though.
Yeah,
I don't think Craig
hey,
is still
people
around.
still be saying they be selling dogs on Hoobly, bro. I'm like, really?
Yeah, and so like what happens is, bro, is people I feel like get into a rush or they'll focus on one thing. Like Jamie just got. If you guys are watching this, I wanted to hurry up and like let everybody know, like, yo, that was a crazy gem that Jamie dropped. And what she said was, don't get too caught up on one thing that you forget about everything else. And these breeds of dogs, I feel like we do that easier than any other breeds of dogs or style of dogs that are out there. We'll get focused on one thing and disregard everything else to when we see this puppy and its back leg ain't bending at all and it's dragging that mother. it's doing the exotic bully, you know what I mean? Then it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? And then you go back and you look at the dad or mom's dad and you're like, oh, dang, it was there the whole time. But you know what? I wasn't focused on that. You know what I mean? It happens.
Think of how many things that, you know, you have your dog, you like him, you think he looks pretty good, and then somebody points out a flaw or fault that he has that you didn't even recognize. And don't lie, that's how you learn them at first. You know, you don't come in knowing all that stuff. Well, then you see it and you're like, oh my God, how'd I miss that, you know? But it wasn't brought to your attention. You weren't thinking about it. You thought everything was good. You know, there's a lot of things in dogs like that, you know, and then you have to stop a little bit.
I don't know about Heart, but they have one on ABR and USBR. I'll send it to you if you want, but I don't understand about Heart.
What is the standard for the exotic? What is it, Donald? I mean, what is it?
It's
No, I'm
standard
not
for
gonna lie.
micro.
It's some weird shit though, bro. I think it's like the height is like 15 inches, and you feel me? Like
It's based on
Well, I think there's a whole bunch of
yeah, I was gonna
standards, you
say it's
know.
based on the registry, ain't it? There's like probably 15 different versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They don't
I
call
don't know if a
nanos.
standard is really the answer or whatever. I mean, you know, I don't know. There's just so many breeders of exotic dogs. You know, it'll be hard to corral everything.
Right.
Yeah.
If you even want to do that.
We're in a community where everybody just wants to do their own thing.
Okay, well, if you do, that's fine. Then don't bitch about nothing. That's all I'm saying to the community. If you want to do your own thing, I mean, feel free. You're free to do whatever. You can breed whatever you want to. But then, you know, if you don't want no rules, then really, do you have room to complain about things? I mean,
Yeah, but see,
then just do
and
your
I
thing. And
think
if
nobody.
everybody likes it, you'll know it.
But see,
You
that's why I
know?
think more lives need to come back with people talking about following the rules, with people talking about following the standards, and people talking about creating a healthier, better, functional dog. Because there's so many lives going on. There's basically people saying they don't care. I think that's becoming the norm.
Yeah.
DeMarco, I agree.
Well, what's the marker
He
saying?
said,
Where's he at?
Jamie Sweet is a wealth of knowledge and experience. Hey,
Oh,
Don's
Oh
down
yeah.
there joking. He's down there, keep asking these questions. He's over there playing with us, man. We're having serious discussion. He's over there laughing.
Exactly. Hey.
he's laughing. But I mean, you know, if you do your own thing and, you know, people are going to gravitate to that when they like it. People always say, "Oh, the best dog's tied up in somebody's backyard." I don't necessarily think that. I mean, maybe you'll find a good dog in the backyard somewhere,
Yeah.
but I mean, the dogs are going to make noise if they're all that, and you know,
Back.
and whoever has them enjoys, you know, talking dogs or whatever.
Get him out there.
But yeah,
When a lot of them say that, it's just the people don't bring them out to the shows. That's it. That's all.
I understand
That's all
that
they really mean.
1000%. Like I'm about over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen at shows that, you know, maybe somebody doesn't want to risk, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, your dog could get sick, it could get anxious, you know, anything can happen. And I mean, if there's no rules and you don't know what the judging is going to be, it's just all over the map. It's whoever, you know, why would you want to go to that and spend money and invest in something when you just drawing straws anyway? I mean, that's how I feel. I'd like to see it get back to the standard tells you what to bring to the ring. This is what we want. Want a big head on this kind of a body with this kind of hair, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the judge, I'd like to see a judge that
knows the standard.
Well, knows the standard and isn't breeding to this dog over here and knows this one's out of this line, so it's going to get looked hard. You know, you got to remove all that stuff and the politics and the money, and then we're right back at square one, you know?
And a lot of the judges, from what I'm seeing, are getting in a dog, picking the better dog instead of the dog fitting the standard. You feel me? Like, to me, I don't think no first place should be given away to a dog that doesn't fit the damn standard. But that's just me.
Well, let's talk about fitness standard. Let's talk about that, because this is something where I think we need to go back to the foundations, and everybody got to get on the same page with what it means. What does fitness standard mean to you? Does it mean a certain height requirement in this? Does it mean no faults or flaws? I mean, does it mean you can recognize it coming at you? What's it mean?
Everything about the dog. Like, to me, the dog should go against the standard, not the dog standing next to it. You
Say that again, Robert. I didn't hear you.
Said the dog should be competing against the standard and not the dog next to it. You feel me? Because
I think the dogs. That is true. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, you compete against standard, but you know, everybody's gonna look at all the dogs in that ring, and I mean, that's just how it is.
And color,
this dog meets it better than that one in this way, whatever. But
yeah, and in the
in the
bully game, it's like, and I'm not. I mean, that's where I come up in the dogs with pre-bully game.
I believe when you give a dog a first place, and he's a fucked up dog, but he's just not as fucked up as the rest of the dogs, you're setting a standard to the community that this can get you first place. You feel me?
But you know, I think he still fits the standard or whatever. He's just a faulty dog, but he still fits the standard. Like, I think we got that twisted a little bit, or maybe I'm the one with it twisted, but you can fit the standard and still be faulty, you know.
But that's what I was going to get at when I was talking about coming up in the bullies, because it's like, you can have a conversation. I've heard a judge say we could go live with this question right now, man, and say if there was an American bully standing next to an English bulldog in the dog show ring at a sanctioned show, who's gonna win? And everybody's gonna say the American bully. And the reason, part of the reason why that is because for a lot of people, or the majority, man, that's the extent of their dog experience has been in the bully game. And so,
well, and then you got to look at some of these judges that are getting in the ring now are kind of fresh to the game, and they're picking dogs, not even knowing every standard for the American bully, let alone putting a Frenchie in there with a fucking English bulldog too. You feel me? Because those dogs are not supposed to be in comparison with each other. They are supposed to be in comparison with their own breed standard.
I agree.
Correct.
And like Jamie said, it's like in a Mike Koger, he said, sorry, I get distracted by the comments. He said everyone judges shows nowadays don't even know confirmation. There you go. And that's part of the reason why we're in the shape, or these dogs are in the shape that they're in, like so many different looks for exotics, and all of a sudden it's not a look, but that's the only way we can tell any breed apart from each other. You know what I mean? It's by how they look. So it's a weird spot. It's a weird spot. It seems like there's a wiggle out or a cop out for everything, because there's no standard outside of the show ring. There's no standard of how you conduct business. There's no standard of how you go about pushing we got away from all that stuff.
Hey, Murph, the reason why they judge me again, because maybe they're popular, and they might bring out people to the shows.
I have yet to see somebody bring somebody out to a show by being an MC or a special guest. You feel me? I've yet to see them pack a show.
What's that, Rob?
Do what?
I said I've yet to see an MC pack a show.
I've seen it.
You feel me? I think people will pay for artists to come out. People will pay for MC. People will pay for a special guest, but you won't pay the motherfucker to bring out the top dog. You feel me?
Right.
Like, that don't make sense to me.
Most
Does anybody care about the dogs anymore, really?
Yeah,
that's
what it boils down to.
Popularity.
That's a great question.
Popularity.
That's the question of the hour right there.
You know, I mean,
when it's about that, all that other stuff don't matter. And when it becomes about the money, all the stuff that we're saying is like, oh man, if it was like this, or but what about this, and what about this? Man, check this out. We're here because everybody's been focusing on the money. We're a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, and if we're not too late, then something's got to be. We got to wake up and be like, okay, how long has it been since Bullseye was out? Oh, 10 years, man. We got to make up all that time. Or no, it's probably 15, 13 years now. However long it's been, we're behind the buck. You know what I'm saying? And the shit is out of control.
Well, maybe the registries need to have the people come out that's doing the judging. Maybe they need to establish some type of requirements.
But the thing with that is, bro, is like when it comes to these registries, we can't even hold each other accountable. Like, how are we gonna? Who's gonna hold the registries accountable? And I agree with you. I'm not saying I agree with you wholeheartedly. They're a big part of it, but it's like, man, we're not exempt from calling each other out. The registries aren't the police. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Look, the registries can stop the paperwork from flowing if they wanted to, even if they go and start their own or whatever. That's why we have so many of them, right? Some people get mad at others and they go and start their own registry.
Facts.
But
Well, they're starting their own because the dogs are being banned, and that's what I don't agree with that. You're banning dogs because what most of the community is doing. You feel me? Like, it just doesn't add up to me. Like, you would bet, like, some registries of, like, when they first banned bait, they banned bait, but not its production.
It ain't about the people. It wasn't about the like the killers. They don't like the owners. They getting into it with them.
No,
and then
that's what I'm saying. That's the type of shit they started doing, and that makes absolutely no sense to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, look, maybe the show hosts need to come up with it then, and they need to come together and have a judging a requirement. I don't know, but all I do know is you know everybody after the show gets on social media, then they down everything. My dog is the best here, and my dog should have won. Blah blah blah, and it goes from there. When
Damn.
the fun shows could have a little more structure to the fun shows. So I don't know.
Hey, no, it's a good point. So check this out. I'm gonna read 2 comments real quick. Abdul, I see you, bro. You gotta forgive me. This conversation is like somebody say something, I forget all about it.
Come on, Donald. Come on, Donald.
Hey, and then Mike Allred, he said, y'all are kidding yourself if you think it's about the dogs. It's about people wanting to be other people. Now that is the root.
Amen, Mikey.
That is the root right there, man. And so yeah, I agree with you. But
That's what I'm
Abdul
saying, popularity.
he wants to know what y'all think. Hey, I want to get back to Mike's thing too, but Abdul wants to know what y'all think about the hybrids.
What do we think about the hybrids?
All of them hybrids?
You mean the mix whatever you want hybrids, and
Yeah.
we call it a hybrid, that thing?
Yeah, yep. I'll just say what I'll say, and then can we go back to it?
Okay.
Hey, I don't think it's very cool at all, man.
Bro, you sit out, bro. How's you outside, bro? I know you're gonna turn that heater on.
Who, me? Hey, I'm born and raised, man. I'm a real gritter, bro.
Oh, well, yeah, true.
Hey, we used to be outside in the snow, standing in a circle, dude.
Yeah, I'm out here freezing, bro. I'm over here packed up like a fat man with a
regular
heater.
hoodie on, Rob. You ain't down at all, Rob. He's got regular hoodie.
I got on about 8 pieces of garment, bro, with sitting next to a heater.
In the garage. You not hard, Rob?
I think so. With that, I don't agree with the hybrid. I think it's dumb. I get it. The definition of a hybrid is the definition of a hybrid. No need to go into that. We can Google it and see what it is. But to classify.
Hello?
He done blinked out. Hey, we can't hear you, Reno. Yeah.
Now we can.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, as far as the hybrid, you can Google the definition of it, man. Me personally, is like, when it comes to classifying a dog as such, I'd rather not, man. I'd rather not call my dog a hybrid. I'd rather put my name on it and say, oh, this is a Smith Hunter, than to call it a hybrid, though. Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I feel you.
The hybrid thing, I think it was, I don't know this for a fact, but I think it gave people a place to do something that they thought, okay, if we give them a platform here, they're going to do it anyway. Whatever, it's going to get done anyway. And
let's
so here
we'll
put a platform. Yeah, let's capitalize on that. Let's get them too. Yeah.
I think they just wanted the paperwork to stop being hung. But to be honest, I feel like if the
Not even to stop being hung, so they could sell puppies, and there's a piece of paper there. I mean, if we're gonna get down to the real, let's just get all the way down to it.
Well, I mean,
everybody wants to sell these puppies, and yeah,
we want to be real. If the Shorty Bull and the Brahma Bull was, to me, promoted properly, there would never have been an exotic.
I disagree.
No, there would have been an exotic, because there would have been. First of all, I had too many rules. Nobody wanted that shit. They had to listen to a woman. Nobody wanted that shit neither. And I was a rip about it. They didn't want that. That's why I'd never do this again. I would never do this again. Ever.
Murph, you done delivered some bad news, man.
What's he saying?
What's
New
that?
direction.
He hates to be the bearer of bad news. You got a hybrid.
What's the bad news, Murph?
He said
Got a
somebody got
Everybody
hype.
got hybrids.
I think hybrid sounds good. I don't even know if there's really hybrids. Man, it's a mix of stuff,
I mean,
Fact.
Really.
the community likes to lie, bro. They love to be lied to because if they didn't, they would be breeding Broncos and shorty bulls with the correct shit on the paperwork.
Well, you guys just need to learn how to breed dogs by looking at the dogs in front of you, because these peds and stuff, we don't know. You know? Then we add Photoshop on that. Again, we don't know. Then we don't go out and see anything, so we don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be done better, you know. But
Jay,
why doesn't it get done?
what did you mean when you said you had a lot of rules when it came to it?
And I said I had a lot of rules, like it wasn't a free for all. It wasn't just anybody can do anything. I mean, I think that's where we go wrong, is there's an attitude like people come in, they're pissed off because this guy can do it and this guy can't. But
Okay.
that all goes back to your experience in dogs and what you know.
Yeah.
It's not fair to a breed of dogs to let somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience make any rules about, you know, what they're gonna do or breed or anything.
Right.
You know, just like I said earlier, stuff sounds good, but you're not gonna understand it completely until you do it. You're not. You know, and a lot of things in dogs, it's not a statistic, it's a personal experience. You know, if you had an English bulldog and you tried to naturally whelp her and the pups got stung, you say, "Oh God, this is terrible. All English bulldogs suck because they, you know, all of them need cesareans." They don't all need cesareans. I'm not saying go try that either. I'm just saying you have to have a lot to find that out. And I don't think it's fair to a breed or to the person who, you know, put the years and time and kept all the dogs and everything, that everybody has an equal say.
Yeah.
Because everybody doesn't have equal experience, knowledge. They haven't done it as long. And if that's wrong, then it, you know, I
I
still
think that's why
believe
I hear people.
that hurts a breed.
I hear
I
people in
agree.
the exotic
I
community.
agree
They'll
with you.
tell you like, bro, you could tell that that's an F1. No, you can't.
I agree
You
with
get
you.
me? You
You
can't.
shouldn't be able to tell like real easily that that's an F1. You
Yeah.
know.
Hey,
Yeah,
now
I
That's why I
agree.
tell
I
people
mean,
I've been here long enough and crossed the breed so much to know that I don't know shit when I look at a dog. I don't know if that's an F1 or not, because I've seen dogs that are not F1s that throw shit that look just like a bulldog or just like a Frenchie. You know?
but but this is what I'm saying. If you're doing an F1 to bring some new blood in or to bring a trade in or whatever, you still want the offspring to look as much like the new breed, you know, get the most of that you can. I mean, if you bring an English bulldog in to add whatever bone or, you know, proportion, and then you keep the shit that looks just like an English bulldog, you should just breed English bulldogs. You know, really,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. And it's hard to make that jump sometimes into foundation work. But I don't believe that people who haven't bred a lot of, you know, dogs, I don't think they're really cut out to do foundation breedings. Now maybe one or two of them are or whatever, but you know, that tends to offend people when you say that. Like you know, you're saying that. But does it not make sense that, I mean, in anything else, you know, in anything else, if you baked wedding cakes, okay? Well, the person who's just baked their second cake really isn't going to be able to make a wedding cake look the same as the guy who's, you know, a professional wedding cake baker.
For sure.
That and it's not that much different in dogs, you know.
But see, that's
When you're
the good
young
thing
and
about
you haven't seen anything, you don't see it until, you know, you've done it a while.
But see, that's the good thing about even buying dogs from someone with a program. You feel me? Because you're buying a dog from somebody who has already put the work in and the experiences behind it.
Right.
You
Right?
know, because I see a lot of people buying dogs from people with programs, but not listening to them. You feel me? Because you know, a lot of people in the exotic community is on that. Oh, my vision, my vision, my vision. And then you go buy a nice dog and can't produce shit from it because you don't want to listen to the person you bought it from.
Right. You know, and that my vision stuff, you can have a vision that can turn into a bloodline and still be within the boundaries of, you know, a good dog of that breed.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean just because you have a vision, it doesn't mean it has to go way off base. You know, I think everybody has to put their, you know, put their stamp on it, whatever. You know, if your mind goes that way, you know, that, and I think we have to realize that too. I mean, we're all individuals, and you know, we're not all gonna like everything the same, but you know, we could like a type. That's our original conversation. A type, you know, type. Does everybody know what type is? That's a good place for us to start, you know.
He said, Stan said no program will give you a good dog. I gotta disagree with that.
It'll give you a good dog. But what's Stan mean? He probably. What do you mean, Stan? Go on.
Though?
Yeah, elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean,
Murphy.
however he means that, I kind of gotta disagree with it. You know, because most programs, I feel they're not looking for just that one-up dog. You feel me? And they're not, and they understand that they can't keep everything. You feel me? So I think once a program has a true foundation, you feel me? They're gonna sell shit so the community can have it.
Yeah, I get what Stan's saying. Like, you're gonna buy the shit, and they're not gonna give you the good ones. But
Vino, you muted, bro. We can't hear you.
Oh yeah, if he's saying it like that, that's normally it's like that. So you know, like when I used to import dogs, it's always that way. You know, you won't get.
I think we need to get Mike on here. He wants to know why is everything going back to the cleaner dogs. You guys tell me that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd say because there are problems.
I believe it's been too many problems, too many health issues, and they're trying to get better functionality in the dogs. I mean, think about it. How many people have bought dogs for 20 grand and that dog ain't even lived long enough to be bred?
Hey, why did it die?
Nah, still can't hear you, bro.
How many people can we have on this call at one time?
Just four.
Okay.
My question is, why did it die?
Hey, so there's a couple things real quick. So Jamie, I think talking about breed type is absolutely the first place to start off at. But I think it also ties into going back to like what Mike said in terms of other people wanting to be like other people. And I think what that is if you want to be like other people, like Facebook, the internet is full of imagery. So you see certain things, people are covetous. They're like, man, I want that for myself. Well, then they're like, okay, well, look how he's doing that, or look what he's doing it with. He's got this style of dog, and that's what he's making this money with. So then they go and they think that that's the style for them. They don't even like it. And then once they realize they don't like it, or that style or fad wears off, right? They got to start back up or try to catch back up. They're already behind the buck because they never identified what it was that they wanted, who they were, and what they wanted to accomplish, right, in this shit. And so I think breed type is a great point to start at because it's like, hey, you ever try to quantify the things that it is that you like about a dog? Oh, you like the head, you like the chest? Okay, cool, right? These are the things called breed type. And generally what somebody likes on one thing, they're gonna like it like that on everything. You know what I mean? Or for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, I think it ties back into what Mike said, and I think breed type would be a good topic to start on. Because I don't think everybody does know.
You know, but usually breed type comes with a standard. So usually a dog will have breed type, they'll have a standard to it. So
what do you mean?
If you go say Adobe, right? Adobe for breed type is in the standard, it calls for certain traits, certain things that they're looking for. A deep chest, right? Certain length of its back, its muzzle, head, the width of his head, shape of his head. That's what.
I wouldn't.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hey, Donald, you got to go all the way out, bro. I
So
think
if you ain't got,
come
if
back.
you don't, if nobody has that, or no, let me back that up. If nobody wants to follow anything, then how are they gonna identify a breed type?
So breed type. Here's the thing, man. It's so simple, bro. In my opinion, like I wouldn't mix them up the way that you did, or not mix them up, but the way that it came. It. So if you're looking at a top stud and you want to breed to that dog, generally you're going to be already part of a particular breed group, like whether it's Rottweilers, German Shepherds, whatever, right?
Right.
You're never going to consider a stud that doesn't look like a Rottweiler or German Shepherd.
Right.
That's exactly what breed type is. Breed type are the characteristics and things that we can physically see or sense, right? That make this breed of dog different from anything else. And so now virtues are different. So like breed type, it's like, okay, if I'm talking about a Rottweiler, I can't be excited about a Rottweiler stud because it's black and tan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Right.
that's part of breed type. That's part of what makes a Rottweiler. So I can't be excited about that. Like the breed type shouldn't even be a question. It's what that dog, like she said this before, what virtues is that dog bringing to the table in lieu of, right, breed type? Like that shit should be, we should never even consider something if it doesn't have the type.
Let's talk about what breed type actually is, because it is, there's 5 components of it, okay?
I'll name them.
Go
or do you
ahead.
You want to go through a list?
You want to? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's start with the look.
Yeah.
Or what do you want to start with?
It's got to be recognizable type, and there's 5 components that make it up, okay? So this is how come this is a poodle, this is a bulldog, this is a Doberman, this is a Rottweiler, let me ask you this first. Is a skinny Rottweiler, is that the same thing as a Doberman? What about a fat, short, thick, Doberman with a box square head? Does that mean it's a Rottweiler? No, it
We're not
doesn't.
showing the dogs, Jaden.
Huh?
Nah, Jaden for trying to get on and show the dogs. So we're not showing no dogs.
We're not showing no dogs. Well, here's the 5 components of breed type. I'll go through this real quick. Okay? Expression. Okay, the expression of a dog. Doberman should not look cuddly and like a stuffed animal. A Doberman looks like a working breed. That's the expression on its face. The character of the dog. Every dog has a different temperament, character. That's why hunting dogs hunt, and there's a character that they have, a personality, okay, that they should have. Silhouette is the next component. So if you see the shadow of a dog on a wall, you don't see the color, you don't see anything else but the shadow. Well, if it has breed type, you should be able to tell what breed that is by a shadow on the wall. So, you can tell a Frenchie from a poodle, but can you tell, dogs that are more similar? Can you tell a Yorkie from a Norwich Terrier? That's going to be a lot harder, but that's what makes breeds. So we have expression, character, silhouette. I'm going through it. Coat, that's another one. If you see a Rottweiler with the coat of an Afghan hound, something's not quite right there. So short coated, long coated, curly coated, whatever. That's part of it too. And then their movement. They're going to move according to how they're built. A bulldog rolls and shuffles. That's a lot different than a greyhound's movement. So when you watch them move, that's going to be part of their breed type too. So to be an ideal, wonderful example of a breed, the breed type is the first thing that's going to catch your eye and you're going to look at it. Can you just look at a dog, glance at it, test yourself on it? Can you look at a dog, glance at it for 3 to 5 seconds and tell what breed it is? Or is it, well, it kind of looks like this and kind of looks like that. And so breed type is what distinguishes one breed from another. That's what makes a breed, the breed type. And it's a very, very important, So when you're going to change that, then it's, you change the type,
Yeah, you're getting away from the standard. Like, to me,
Yeah, and the standard describes the breed type.
fact.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
So,
Okay,
like,
so
how's it going to? That was my thing. If people say there's no standard in here within the exotics or whatever, as they say, or they don't follow the ones that's in the registries, so how are they going to go by any type of breed type? Because everybody's breeding whatever type has a breed type that they want to do.
well, I mean, you have to look at it like this. Nobody wants an exotic with long legs that looks delicate and frail, right? So
True.
you all agree you want something short and muscular, and and you just got to go down it like that,
Yeah.
I don't think everybody wants something that's so far off, and so that's where you'd start. That would be the basic way to start, So
That's why they came back to the cleaner dogs. They started over the last couple of years. That's
why is that, do you think?
The I don't even like using like cleaner style dogs, but I think the dogs started having too many problems. So they had to do something. It started changing that way. They had to go back.
Yeah.
To balance it
So
out.
okay, so then what you're saying are there's boundaries to the exaggeration. Like you can only go this far, and then if you go farther, then this is affected, right?
Yeah.
So that's what everybody's doing is, it's getting closer to, getting pinned down as to a standard. But I mean, I don't know if everybody realized that's what they're doing, but you guys have an idea what you want it to be and do, and but it's never going to be identical. It can just be consistent, because they're all individuals. It's, so consistent does not mean identical, but I feel like this is getting really deep down a rabbit hole right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too many bulldogs, somebody said. Too many bulldogs. They wanted a bulldog. Well, if they're wanting a bulldog, then I'd say people want bully. I mean, obviously. People want bully. They want bully without any problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like bully over here. I mean, that's real. How you go about getting that, that makes it different.
Trying to think long, bro. You just have to leave out and come back, bro. Ain't nobody acting funny, bro.
Well, Jamie, how did you start out wanting to produce your own breed, or did it just happen?
What I wanted to do is I just wanted to make an English. I love English bulldogs. I do. There's a certain kind that I liked. I like the ones that could keep up with my family, and the ones that could live a little bit longer and not have a lot of health problems. And I was lucky enough to search and search and search and find a lot of those kind of dogs, and that was what I really liked. And I wanted the features of a bulldog, but I wanted, distinct from an English bulldog too. So, maybe a little bit, not exaggerated to the point that it, made the dog have problems.
Right.
But I wanted it right on that edge where, it still looked cool. It still looked bulldoggy, but, just not. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. And I don't know, I'm around a lot of dog people. My family has a lot of dogs, so we're always betting on stuff. Who can do this? Who can do that? So it had to have a little bit of function. And it didn't have to win races and all that, but basic function, yeah, I wanted that. And then I wanted one that would live a long time because, you get a dog 3 or 4 years old, it's got everything figured out. You got it figured out. Then I want it to I want it to stick around for a while, but I want it to look good too. I don't want a dog to live for, 25 years and 10 of those years that look terrible. I want it to stay in its prime and have a healthy, good, active life and, more than 7 years. And so,
It sounds like
be
to me
healthy. I don't want a bunch of trips to the vet. That was the other thing. I wanted to stay as far away from the vet as possible.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like to me like you identified that what you wanted was something different, and you were okay with that, but it was different, but still like using the virtues of the stuff that you like captivating those things and you knew that in order to do that, it was going to be something different, and you were okay with that.
Yeah. It was just like, I could tell that, too much of, if you get it too exaggerated, then it can't keep up and it can't do this. And, and I wanted to find that point where I didn't want to lose the whole look. I love the proportion. I love a big head and that sort of thing. I love a lot of muscle, but that was what I did. And, I don't know. I really like English Bulldogs. I just don't like a lot of the health problems and shit that comes with them. A lot of them, but I did find English Bulldogs that are pretty amazing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can function and that sort of thing.
One thing, when I got into the bullies, I started going to the shows. I started seeing some real tall English Bulldogs, something different than what I've always seen when I came up. And
man, that's different colored too, probably, right?
Yeah, a whole lot of heavy rolls on them. So I didn't know exactly what they really was. Then people told me they was English Bulldogs, but it's something different than what I've known what they were. Then some people said, well, those are British English Bulldogs. I never knew what an British English Bulldog was, but I just know they was a lot smaller than what I've always been seeing.
Mm-hmm. It used to be the English Bulldog was, the standard was proportion. It was all about proportion. It had a big head in proportion to its body.
Yeah.
And, it was a square dog that, there's no other dog in the world that looked like an English Bulldog, and it has been infused in a lot of breeds to bring about different things,
Yeah.
Yeah. But, when you get them so exaggerated that you're at the vet all the time or they can't function or, they're stressing you out all the time, that's what I didn't want.
Well, look, so check this out, everybody. We're going to wrap it up because we've been on here for 2 hours. So, like I said, bro, if y'all want to get a notification about the lives, y'all make sure y'all hit one in the comments. We're going to be back on next Tuesday, 8:30-ish. So, y'all make sure y'all be on time so we ain't got to be on here long. But I definitely appreciate everybody tapping in. What y'all got anything else to say in closing?
No, I'm good. I'll see you next week.
I appreciate it, you guys. Everybody that joined in the comments and all that stuff. Thanks a lot. See you guys next week.
It's good chatting.
All right.
So salute to everybody for tuning in.